Wow, 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 wow. What's up? John marks the spot. Schedule release day. I gotta be the man, you the man. Aaron Nola giving up 9 earned runs. What is up, everybody? Wednesday night, if you're watching live, we know the Eagles' schedule. We will go over it. If you're going to get angry because we will go over and give wins and losses, then you obviously don't enjoy life. I saw a lot of today from, I don't even know who in the media. I think that Jeff Kerr from CBS was, and Andrew Brandt, the really smart professor, sports business guy that used to work in a front office at one point in time. They're like, I don't understand why people get so excited for the schedule release. Because we love effing football, dumbass. That's why. What don't you understand? The NFL, everyone, like, you go over the top 50 shows every year. Top 50 shows on TV. This includes everything, right? The NFL is, I don't know what it was for last year. I remember one year, I think it was 43 of the 50 top shows were NFL games. Why, what don't you understand? We love the draft. We love free agency. We love training camp. We love preseason games. We love the schedule release because now we know exactly what teams we're playing. Eagles are playing. As we welcome in Delco Steve, and there's no way Delco Steve doesn't love the schedule release. Hi, Delco Steve.
Big Delco, big schedule release fan.
Yeah, why wouldn't you be? I don't get it.
It's football's a 365 days. Oh my God, 365 day sport. So
it is.
I'm all for getting all hyped for any little bit we can get.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the tweet that he put up there. And I hope I'm calling out the right guy. He tweets a lot. Here's another don't understand. Don't understand why the NFL has to have the traditional Thanksgiving teams play on Christmas as well. Well,
that is brutal. That is brutal.
Well, they don't have to do that. It's just that the team, like the Cowboys, they're trying to get the highest ratings ever this year. How do you do that? You put the Cowboys on TV all the time.
Yeah, it's the Chiefs and Cowboys on Thanksgiving and Christmas, like I'm so over seeing them.
Yeah, I am too. All right, so what do you think, man? It is a weird schedule. We knew the Cowboys. That's Thursday Night Football leading off the season, which is awesome. Love it. You agree? You like the Cowboys week 1?
I like it better than, having like December where it doesn't matter if like one of us are out of it, usually them, but it's like I feel like the game in December rarely comes down to like the hype that we think it's going to. So
it's good to get them early. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's have it be a little like, an actual fight for once.
Yeah, you're right. Because we don't get the Jalen Dak game because Dak's typically hurt or something happens or the game doesn't matter.
I mean, Jalen was hurt a couple years. Like, wasn't the year we started off undefeated?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I don't remember.
But Gardner Minshew played the Cowboys and had a shootout game.
That's right. He sucks. At the Chiefs, week 2, 4:25 Fox game. So you get the extra days off, not that you needed. Following Sunday, 1 p.m. home against the Rams. Now that's going to be a revenge factor. I heard that Jared Verse cat, who is unbelievable. I love him. He was on Rich Eisen's show, and he said he thinks about that game every day. That loss to the Eagles every day, and I believe him.
And we talked about it then. He balled out in that game. He almost wrecked that game for us.
No, he called out the fans. He called out the fans. He said he hated the fans, and he backed it up. He was the best. Yep. He might have been the best player of both teams that day.
Oh, minus Saquon.
Yeah, I forgot Saquon.
But he's a freak, and I'm sure he's going to come in, guns a-blazing.
Yep. Vince points out that's 10 a.m. for West Coast, which obviously gives the other thing is we have to, like, you don't know where coming from unless we're studying each team's schedule, right? We don't know who they're playing the week before, because you can have the look ahead game, but we don't know what teams. No one's going to look ahead past the Eagles because obviously they won the Super Bowl. All right, at the Buccaneers, typically the Eagles have not done well in Tampa. They're a good team. You're going to look at the schedule based on the Eagles winning the Super Bowl and dominating the Chiefs. It's going to be hard to not give them the benefit of the doubt in any of these games. So I don't expect a lot of people to be, lose the Tampa. Everybody's going to say they're going to beat Tampa, but like that's not an easy game. I actually saw today the Bucs are doing some type of a season ticket buyback, where if rather than sell the tickets, they want them to offer them back to the Buccaneers, and they get a credit on their 2026 season tickets. Because what happens, and you know this from the Eagles fans going down to Tampa Bay, any team that travels, any franchise that travels, that has their fans travel, they're able to scoop up tickets very easily down in Tampa, and it becomes almost a home game. So they're trying to stop that because they're tired of it, becoming Philadelphia South when we go down there. But that's week 4 at Tampa, Delco Steve. Uh-oh. We lose Delco Steve. We lost Delco Steve. I don't know what's going on now. Week 5, Denver. That is a 1:00 as well. But so starting in week 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they're able to flex games. So unless it's a primetime game, like for example, Thursday Night Football against the Giants the following week, they obviously can't flex that. But they have a couple of 1 p.m. games. They actually have 5 of 6 1 p.m. games, which is really unusual for a team you would think that would be in prime time. All of those games can be flexed out at 1:00. So Broncos at home, that's a flex. Following week at the Giants, Prime Video Thursday night. And that's good because you're at home on Sunday and then you have the short week, but the game's at New York. So that's a very simple. You can take the train or the bus up there that day. At the Vikings the following Sunday. So you get that mini bye right there. And then home against the Giants. Probably the easiest portion of the schedule. Broncos at the Giants, at the Vikings. And I don't expect the Vikings to be as good this year. And then home against the Giants heading into the bye week. You almost got to go 4-0 right there if you have any design in being 13-4 or something like that. Bye week, which, by the way, I was just on I'm going to be on Channel 3 tonight with Pat Allen talking about this. We just recorded a segment. How many times can you remember being an Eagle fan that the bye week like 4 weeks into the season, or the bye week third, you know what I mean? Like third to the end of the season. And you're like, oh, well, like, what's the point of that? As smack dab in the middle as you possibly could. After 8 weeks, they get the bye. And then, and this may be my favorite game that's not like the Cowboys or something, at the Packers. Because this is in Monday Night Football. So they have bye week, Monday Night Football at Green Bay. And this is very much, it's going to be a revenge game for the Eagles. Not for the Packers, for the Eagles. Because it was the Packers and Mark Murphy, their rat president, that came up, and the NFL was behind it too. But the Packers were the team that wrote up the rule to get rid of the tush push, which is going to happen. They're going to rewrite it. The tush push will be gone. And then Jalen Hurts is just going to get touchdowns with the traditional quarterback sneak. It will not be the tush push. But Nick Sirianni, if you heard Saquon Barkley talking about it, like the Eagles feel a certain way about it, as do I. They came up with a play that is totally legal that the NFL cannot stop. And to stop the Eagles from doing it, because they can't stop it, they're coming up with a rule to stop the Eagles. So the Eagles are going to feel a certain way about this. There's going to be a big buildup for this game as well, especially coming off of the bye week, which means like we're going to be so ready for this. And I think Nick Sirianni, one of his biggest strengths, I believe, is really getting through to the guys. And this is an easy sell. You need motivation. I mean, for every game you go out there, you're going to win. But if you look at the Super Bowl, the lead up to the Super Bowl, those players were so freaking ready for the Super Bowl. They were so ready for the Super Bowl. They felt disrespected. The Chiefs were already printing up T-shirts for 3 in a row. right? Like Nick Sirianni used that card. He used the card the same way Bill Belichick did against the Eagles in 2005 after the city released plans if the Eagles won the Super Bowl when the parade was going to be. They weren't saying the Eagles were going to win the parade, but a city has to say, hey, if the Eagles win, this is when we're going to have it. You just don't want that. You just don't want that released. And that's what they're doing with Green Bay. What happened, Delco Steve?
Dude, my internet's been crap for a few days now with all these storms. Just don't even get me started.
Delco internet you have down there?
Dude, I usually never have a problem. I lost power for the first time since I've been in here.
Did you?
Yeah, yesterday. It was out for like 3 hours yesterday. Just can't catch a break. It always goes off during, playoff basketball or playoff hockey games. Not at 6 o'clock when I'm just watching whatever.
Yep. So we were talking about the bye week being like, how many times have we seen it that you get the bye week third to last week of the season or 4 weeks into the season? They have it after 8 games. It actually makes
right
sense.
In the middle.
I know, right in the middle. That's not the one. I love bye weeks too. It's my favorite week is a bye week. Because I get to watch Red Zone.
Can't be pissed off about our team, and we don't have to, get over the top excited about anything. It's fine. It's great. Just sit there and watch Red Zone for 8 hours.
So that's what I'll do. We froze out with Tampa Bay. That's a tough game. That's a Cowboys at the Chiefs, home against the Rams at Tampa, 1 o'clock start. That's a tough game against the Bucs.
How come we always end up in Tampa
every year?
It's ridiculous. I mean, I know we play you play the division winner or you play the first place team, like whatever, but it just seems like no matter what the algorithm is, it's always in Tampa.
It is
in the hottest part of the season, no less.
Yeah, it is. I was down there the year after they won the Super Bowl. I don't know if it was the first week or the second week, but I went down with fans of Philly, and it was 100 degrees, right. And Eagles fans wanted the tailgate so bad. And what does that mean? That's code for they want to get drunk and drink. It was too hot to drink. It was legitimately too hot to drink, and there were people that drank anyway, and they were literally passed out everywhere on the concourse in their seats. It was miserable.
I've made that mistake in Orlando for a UCF game. Was probably the worst I've ever felt, after before I went to bed.
No, and Tim's right. It's true. Tampa and Miami, if you get those September games, dude. So that's Sunday, September 28th. So it's still going to be hot down there. So 3-1 first four games, right? Like that. And that's conservative. 3-1.
It's, I 100% think they beat the Cowboys. I think even though they're going to Arrowhead week 2, the Chiefs are coming off the Brazil game. So that's a disadvantage for them too, coming home for, their home opener against the Super Bowl champions. It's you think they might, you have the Brazil game, but you're still looking ahead to that game. It's going to be a tough it's going to be a tough 2 weeks for them as well. And what was the third game? Rams. Yeah.
Rams,
they're all
revenge game.
Yeah. So week 1 is your easiest matchup with the Cowboys. Everybody else's playoff team last year didn't really lose much. The Rams lost Cooper Kupp. It's that's probably the most substantial subtraction from any of those teams.
It's a matter of how good Stafford is and everything else. Honestly, I'm more worried about the Rams game than the Chiefs as far as revenge.
Yeah.
I honestly, I know Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes. I think the Eagles go in there and beat the Chiefs. I do.
And then you're also you're saying the Rams is the toughest game, but you're also coming off your game against the biggest rival to open the season on banner night, and then going for a Super Bowl rematch the first 2 weeks. You could easily see week 3 being a letdown game.
Yep. No, it's a great point. It really is. At Tampa, and then you get the easiest stretch of the year. Home against the Broncos, and I was saying this when you froze up. So they have a bunch of 1 o'clock games early in the season, but starting in week 5, all those games can be flexed out. So Denver 1 p.m., that can be flexed. Minnesota 1 p.m., that can be flexed. Giants 1 p.m., that can be flexed. So here's the 4-game stretch before the bye. Home against Denver, at the Giants. That's Thursday Night Football. So the schedule makers actually did the Eagles favors because they're home against the Broncos, and then they have a Thursday night game on the road, but it's in New York. So you're not traveling across. Yeah, exactly. You're not traveling across the country. So it's really not that big of a deal. Then you're at Minnesota. This isn't the Minnesota that runs. Yeah, with the extra rest. And Minnesota's not going to win what they want. Like JJ McCarthy's going to be their starting quarterback. Like, what is that team going to look like 7 weeks into the season? I mean, unless JJ McCarthy can play, which I don't expect him to look great this year, that's a much easier game than maybe how you would look at it last year.
Everyone said the same thing about Sam Darnold last year. Look what they did with him. If you had to pick going into last year, who's a better quarterback, Sam Darnold or JJ McCarthy, you'd probably pick JJ McCarthy because you don't know what he's going to do as compared to, you've seen Sam Darnold literally shit his pants over ghosts. So,
and then what is Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold at the end of the year turned back into Sam Darnold. But to your point, yeah, he was playing well.
They could easily be a good team going into week 7. Would you be that surprised to see them 5-1, 4-2, 6-0 even? It's just,
no,
I mean, obviously, I don't know what their schedule is and who they have coming. And you got to think they got a second place schedule because they didn't win the division last year. They won 14 games or whatever it was.
Would I be surprised to see the Vikings at 5-1 or 5-2? Yeah, I would.
Why? They did it last year with Sam Darnold.
Yeah, but they did it last year and honestly, were they as good as their record indicated? No,
but they still put up a 14 win record in probably the toughest division of football last year.
All right, F the Vikings. All right, I don't expect them this year. And then you have the Giants at home. So you have the Giants 2 or 3 weeks towards the middle of the season, which, like, I mean, I don't know. I who knows who the quarterback's going to be then? Does Russell Wilson, is he still the starter? Does he lose his job? Like, I'll say this, will they be improved this year? I mean, I guess they have to be at least a little bit. You're not going to be playing Tommy Cutlets in there, but the Giants aren't going to be very good this year at all. And then you have the bye week. And then I was talking about this game's going to be for real. It's the tush-push revenge game because the stinking Packers coming off the bye, the Packers were the ones that teamed with the NFL to get the tush-push shut down. And it's Monday Night Football. So you have the bye at Green Bay, Monday Night Football, revenge game against the Packers. And some people might laugh when I say this. I'm telling you, the Eagles are going to be pissed going in there. This isn't a revenge game because the Packers lost. Eagles are going to be pissed going in there. And Sirianni's going to have them lathered up and pissed going into that game. I can't wait.
Over under 9.5 tush pushes in that game.
Yeah, exactly. They're just going to run the quarterback sneak for a touchdown rather than the tush push, losers.
No, anyway. Honestly, that would be great. This is like Boston Scott against the Giants kind of thing. Like, it's what's going to happen in that game.
Agreed.
Especially if we're winning.
Home against the Lions. That's Sunday Night Football. That'll be a tough one. Following week at Dallas, 4:25 Fox game. So coming out of the bye, Packers, Lions, Cowboys, and you're getting the Cowboys the week before Thanksgiving. Not that that's going to be a look-ahead game for them, but still, it's the week before the Thanksgiving Day game. So that's obviously something they know is after that. And then you go Bears. I love, for all the fans out there bitching, why do I have to play on Friday at 3 o'clock? I love the fact that the Eagles are as good as they are. They're running the NFL. And with that comes great responsibility, like playing on national TV all the time. And I can't wait for a Black Friday 3 p.m. game on Amazon Prime. It's going to be a good one. Against the Bears at home.
That's home, right?
Yep.
That's going to be a all-time tailgate day.
A 3 p.m. Friday game after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. All-time tailgate day. Like, you go, all right, you drink Thanksgiving Eve, you stuff your face Thanksgiving night, you fall asleep early, you wake up early, you're ready to go, and you're just already got a full stomach from the night before. You just start going.
Totally agree. Oh, yeah, you got to do it. No, that's because you know who's bitching about it? People that work in media that don't want to have to work on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. They just want to mail it in because it's a holiday. Well, sorry, suckers. You got to work. That's just the way it is. All right. So then you have, sorry, I got to get out of something here. So then you have, after that, we have at the Chargers. That's Monday Night Football. So another prime timer. Might be a little bit tougher of a game than you think, right? I don't like the Chargers will probably with Jim Harbaugh as the coach, they'll be in the playoff hunt or they'll be in the playoffs at that point, right? Like I don't expect the Chargers to be anything less than what they were this year.
I agree with that.
Home against the Raiders. That's a 1 p.m.er on Fox. And now you get the last 3 games of the season. At Washington, that's Saturday, December 20th. That was announced before. That could be a 4:30 or an 8 o'clock game, depending. And then the Bills. This is tough. Commanders at the Bills, Sunday, 4:25. And then you have the Commanders to end the season. Will that game matter? We don't know. But if it does,
could easily be a Sunday Night Football game, Week 18.
Well, if it's for the division, it will be, right? Uh-oh, we lost him again. Delco Steve, look at his look. Poor Delco Steve's eye was shut here. You all right, Steve?
I think we're back. It looked like it was about to glitch out.
Yeah. So like all in all, tough schedule, but the other note that like they didn't screw the Eagles with 3 straight road games, or they have a Thursday night game after they were all in like they're not in California and then they have to fly home and then they have a Thursday night game in Minnesota or something like that. Their travel isn't all that bad, right? So like their toughest travel stretch, I don't even know what it would be. It's really not anything bad because they don't have back-to-back home games. They have back-to-back road games twice, but it's at the Giants on Thursday night, which is nothing. And then you get that long stretch, and then it's at Minnesota. And then after that, at Washington, that's a train ride. And then you the following Sunday at the Bills, which is, like an hour flight or an hour and a half flight or whatever up there. So really, it's it's favorable as far as travel and things like that.
So the one cross-country trip to LA is pretty much it. Is what I'm getting out of it.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. The furthest they fly, it's a good point, is Los Angeles because they're at Dallas. That's on the longer side.
Yeah, but they do that every year.
Yeah, so that's no different. Tampa they do every year too. That's like 2 hours and 45 minutes. But Minnesota's not a long flight. Buffalo's not a long flight. Yeah, like their road games are nothing. Kansas City's right in the middle of like 2 hours, hour and a half, something like that. Yeah, well, there you go. What do you think about playing the Giants 2 out of 3 weeks and the Commanders 2 out of 3 weeks?
I think I don't ever I know it happens every season, like where some team has where you play 2 out of 3 against somebody. I don't ever recall having it twice in a season.
Twice, never. I agree.
Especially like that early in the season with the Giants. I feel like that's a little like a scheduling quirk. But no, obviously I don't mind it with the Giants as much because I don't expect much of them. Like, yeah, do I think they're going to be better than last year? Yeah, but that's not saying much. So I don't mind it there. But 2 out of 3 at the end of the year with Washington, if it matters, is a rough stretch, especially when the team in between is the Bills.
Yeah. Yep.
Because what are the Bills? The Bills are. If obviously this could all be completely different come December because it's the NFL. It's never how you think it's going to be.
Never.
But if it plays out the way we think it is as of now, those are 3 teams that are going to be right in the thick of things for 1 seeds or home field advantage. Take your pick of whatever thing you want to talk about. But it's like they're all going to be in the thing. They're all going to be gunning for it in those last 3 weeks of the season. So you get the Bills playing for 1 seed against the Chiefs or somebody like that. It's like you're going to have hard-fought games those all 3 weeks. And then you probably need you're going to be in street fights for those 3 weeks, and then hoping you have the bye for the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, would you? I'd be more than surprised that the Bills weren't really good again this year. You agree?
Right. Agreed.
The Bills are a 12, 13 win team. I'd be surprised if the Commanders weren't at least a playoff team this year.
Yes.
You know what happens year 2 when a quarterback comes out and he looked as good as Daniels did, and I think Jaden Daniels is a great player. But still, there's adjustments that are made, not only to the quarterback, but to the offense, right? Now they have gotten better and they've added players. I still think they're easily a playoff team, but are they better than they were last year? I don't know that. But still, bona fide team. So, you're playing a lot of teams this year where, the Vikings are a team that I look at and I'm like, I think they take a step back. But, maybe the Chiefs have a little bit of a down year. The Rams are a playoff team. The Bucs are a playoff team. Lions are a playoff team. The Packers are a playoff team. They're playing legit competition this year. But when you look at the schedule, the Eagles are the best. They won the Super Bowl last year. So what do we?
And you look at the fourth place teams are playing. Like, yeah, the Raiders suck, the Giants suck, but everyone expects the Bears to be significantly better. So it's like you're one of your supposed layups on the schedule is potentially not a layup. And like you said, on a different day of the weekend, it's like an adjustment period for that game too.
Yep.
Not that I expect them to lose to the Bears, but just they're going to be a better team than they were last year, probably.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like there's always the game. Now, it didn't happen last year for the Eagles, but there's normally a game that you lose that you don't expect to. You win, you don't expect to win, right? But with this team, though, man, it's just they're just so damn good. I don't know. This is it's an eye-opening schedule, I guess you could say. It really is. Yeah, overall, I think it's pretty favorable. I do. You don't get screwed like last year. Last year they screwed them with road games and things like that, and they don't have an international game. They don't have a ton of they don't have a ton of tough travel at all. So yeah, like overall, I think it's pretty favorable. Pretty favorable.
And like we were talking about earlier, she's back.
I brought her in for you.
I appreciate that. And like you said, bye week in the middle of the season, perfect scenario.
Perfect. Yep. Perfect. Yeah, because Vince had speculated whether or not the Delco dumper. Because you know who already has their tickets for the Black Friday game.
Don't do it. I highly doubt she'll be there.
Me too. All right, let's go through it. You ready? Ready to do this?
Yep.
All right. So, by the way, preseason opens up. There's 2 preseason games this year. I think two home preseason games this year. I think my kids are going to go to their first Eagles game. I'm not taking them to a regular season game.
Absolutely not.
And there's a Saturday 1 p.m. game, which is perfect. You can go to the game. It's 1 p.m. I don't have to worry about my little girl being too tired or whatever. Like, we can go. She can nap on the way down. Boom.
People won't be as riled up.
Right. Yeah, no. I probably will never take them to an Eagles game. Bengals, Browns at the Jets. And then to start the regular season, September 4th, Thursday Night Football, Eagles at the Cowboys. What do you got, Steve?
Thorough beatdown.
That's a win. But there's 7-point favorites in that game.
Yeah, I'll take over 10.
That's an Eagle line. Ooh.
Yeah,
Eagles minus 10. All right. So I agree with you. Them. Eagles win. At the Chiefs following week.
Win.
Agreed. 2-0. Home against the Rams.
Win.
I have a loss here. Because then I have them beating Tampa Bay. Like
I'll have them losing in Tampa Bay.
All right, so like that's good because normally I do it in 4-game chunks, and I'm like more or less I'll be like I think they're 3-1 through 4.
Yeah,
and that's worst case scenario 3-1 through 4. All right, Denver home. What are you thinking about?
I'm thinking if their defense actually takes another step forward, like that could be. I think it's going to be like a low scoring, like slobber knock kind of game.
Well, and Sean Payton is a good offensive play caller and a good head coach. And Nick showed that he can. Nick showed he could play last year. He did.
That's it's a win, but I think it's going to be a lower scoring, tighter game than people think.
All right, I'll go with that. At the Giants,
win.
At the Vikings,
win.
Oh, your Vikings? You haven't beaten your Vikings? All right.
We always beat the Vikings.
I know. Giants at home.
Win.
So that's 7-1 through 8 heading into the bye week.
Love it.
Man. All right, bye week. Coming out of the bye week at the Packers.
Win.
Home against the Lions.
That's week 10? What's that's like early November?
That's a Sunday, November 16th, 8:20 game.
It's too cold for Jared. Win.
At the Cowboys.
Win.
Home against the Bears.
Win.
So you have them 11-1. I'm giving them one of those losses. Detroit feels like could be a loss to me.
It's like, all right, do they split with the Cowboys or
right,
the Cowboys?
Or the Cowboys, right.
Right. It's like, so that's, I kept like, obviously I paused on those too. It's just, like, I don't know. Like, if the Lions take a step back without their offensive coordinators, obviously they lost a few pieces, but it's just like, I don't know. Jared Goff in the outside in the, elements,
Agreed.
it's,
Agreed.
if it's an 80-degree day in November, Detroit's got a shot. So that's why it's
I don't know if it'll be 80, but it could be 60. It's Sunday night too. So it's a night game.
Oh, night game? It's Sunday night? Oh, it's a
Sunday
win. No matter who. It's a win, no matter what.
I will. So I'm going to give them a loss there. So I have two. I'll give them a loss in one of those 4 games. So that's 2. All right. So at the Chargers, Monday Night Football. That's after you have Black Friday day game, and then you have the mini bye week, as they like to say. Monday Night Football at the Chargers.
I'll say an L there. I'll say a loss there.
Home against the Raiders.
Win.
At the Commanders.
That's the Saturday.
Saturday could be 8 p.m., could be 4:25.
I think they lose one of Commanders Buffalo.
Okay, at Buffalo and then home against the Commanders. You know what? And I'll just leave the last game of the season out because almost every year it doesn't matter. So I don't even want to count that. So I think in their final 4 games, they go 2-2. So I have them 4 losses on the season going into that final week. 12-4 heading into the final week is where I see them right now.
Who do you have the 2 losses
me being
to in the
very
final 4?
Very conservative. I could see.
I had 2 there. I had 2 there too. Chargers, Raiders,
Chargers, Bills, Chargers, Commanders, Bills.
Yeah, so we're on the same page. We're on the same page.
Yeah. I mean, if they have a decent lead in the division, maybe they take their foot off the gas. I don't know. Last year, they got on a roll. They didn't lose.
I could see them beating the Commanders and then being in a driver's seat scenario where it's like, all right, do we have to give the Bills our best effort in a non-conference game that's not going to really affect our standings and, get into a brawl with another physical team, not an actual brawl, but game-wise with another physical team and beat ourselves up for kind of how the what was it last season with the Vikings and the Lions where the Vikings could have lost week 17 because it didn't matter. They just had to beat the Lions week 18 sort of thing. Yep. I could see that. I could easily see that kind of scenario happening where you win that first game against Commanders and it's all right, week 17 doesn't really matter. It's going to come down to week 18 either way.
Right. And that was so weird that week 17 didn't matter, but week 18 mattered.
Yep.
That almost never happens, but you're right. It may come down to that. That was strange last year. All right. And Kevin brings up a great point. The Rams that game was close, man. If you remember, they were driving.
The snow's
coming down.
I was going to say, is that the toughest game because of the opponent or because of the conditions?
Opponent.
You don't think that same game plays out with another opponent?
Here's what I think, that the team that gave the Eagles the most trouble along the line of scrimmage was the Rams. Their defensive line. The regular season game wasn't nearly as hard, but
right. That's what I'm saying. I think the conditions played into the fact that why they were able to take advantage of some of our stuff.
Agreed, but some of those younger players also matured over the course of the year, and people. Some people look at Sean McVay and think that they see the hair and he's he's pretty and he's good looking or whatever. Man, his players love playing for him. He is legit. He is a legit top coach in the NFL. And I saw Sean McVay during the Super Bowl or whatever. He's all pissed off that they lost. He's still thinking about it. That is a tough game. Coming off the way they lost last year, that is a tough game.
He's thinking about retiring every year. So every time he gets kicked out early, he's pissed.
Right. Yeah. He needs to win.
Why'd I come back to lose in the first round or second round of the playoffs?
Well, listen, it's at home, and maybe that's the game because of Sean McVay that the Delco Dumper wants to come and see Sean McVay in person.
That could be to our benefit where she scares Sean McVay, throws him off his game.
I should take a dump on him.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. What else do we have with the schedule? Any other thoughts? Yeah, this is awesome. It really is.
I think they got a good I know they're going to have obviously, like you said earlier, like they're going to have a lot of prime times. I think they got a good balance of, like, I feel like in years past, the prime times were all like home games, where it's like now this year there's like a little 50-50 split on their prime time games. So I like that about it.
Cowboys are the first team in NFL history with 4 Thursday night games or 4 Thursday games because they play on Thanksgiving.
Wow.
So
is Christmas on a Thursday?
So opening against the Eagles doesn't really count because when you talk about Thursday night games, you're essentially saying they have a short week, right? So if you open up the season on a Thursday night, you don't have a short week. So that's
and the Cowboys always play the Thursday after Thanksgiving too, which is annoying as hell.
That's exactly right. And they play on Christmas too.
So Christmas is Thursday. Yeah. So I never understand why the Cowboys play back-to-back Thursdays every season. It doesn't make sense to me.
Because the NFL loves ratings, brother. And the Cowboys always rate high. That opening game is going to be unbelievable. The Eagles against the Cowboys, everybody hates them, but everybody's going to tune in for it.
Everybody hates both sides of that game.
Yep. For sure. Chiefs play the most primetime games this season. 7 primetime games. And by the way, and 5 of them come in the first 8 weeks. Keep this in mind with where the Eagles are right now. That whole second half of the season, they could be flexed. So if you're playing a team that now sucks because of injuries or whatever that you were at 8:00, well, they might flex out of it on a Sunday night because they're like, who wants to see that now?
Or who wants to watch the Eagles smash his team by 30?
Right. Like what's a 1:00 game that could potentially be flexed? If and they have mostly primetime games.
Yeah, because the 4:00 games rarely get the 4:25 games rarely get flexed because usually that's the game.
Because Fox thinks Fox wants to get rid of the Cowboys and Eagles. Absolutely not. They'll fight for that. They like the Raiders. They're not going to flex the Raiders and the Eagles because the Raiders aren't going to be good.
No.
Nope. I mean, you know what though? With Pete Carroll, that's just such a tough division. Pete Carroll was so desperate to get back in the NFL. That's really, really tough. There's not a lot of opportunities to get flexed out because the 1:00 games that you have that can be flexed, the Broncos, the Vikings, and the Giants, maybe the Broncos.
That's too early in the season. They don't really, they can flex them. They don't really ever do it though.
That's out of it like an emergency.
Right. Like you would need both starting quarterbacks of a team like to tear their ACLs on week 1 and be like, oh crap, there are Sunday night game week 10. Like those teams are going to be brutal by then. We could, finagle the schedule by then.
Yep. All right. What else? Steelers get 4 primetime games, which insinuates everybody believes Aaron Rodgers. Bro, listen, I've been saying for months, all this retirement talk, Adam Schefter's like, well, Aaron Rodgers could retire. He's not retiring, dumbasses. You think Aaron Rodgers is just going to go away quietly and never play football again? Shut up. He's signing with the Steelers because the Vikings don't want him. And he's going to be a Steeler this year.
I wanted to go to the Vikings so bad to complete the Brett Favre arc.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
It's never going to happen, but I would love it to happen.
No, he's going to be a Steeler, and that's fine. I think it'll make the Steelers interesting this year because Mason Rudolph or whatever scrub quarterback they would have would just be
Howard,
a disaster. Yeah, come on, Will Howard or whatever. All right, so there you go. Schedule. Delco Steve, a lot of people asking, like, when breaking Flyers news happens, they want to know, like, they're not going to Jason Bertidis or, they go to Broad Street Hockey and the PHLY Philly Flyers guys like Bill Matz and Charlie O'Connor. But I would say probably number 1 on that list would be Delco Steve. Delco Steve, your thoughts? Rick Tocchet, your next head coach.
So I'm a little bummed that it's, in the Flyers family, but at least Rick has at least has the credentials to back up being the hire. Like he was coach of the year 2 years ago. He's been through the ropes. He's been he was with Tampa Bay before they were good. He was with Arizona when they weren't good. So he's put in the work as being a coach of bad teams. And then the last few years with Vancouver have been very good to him. He's overachieved with that team. I love what he said today in his press conference, that he always identified with Philadelphia as the way he played the game. I think he's like, he's not far enough, or he's far enough removed from the old school where he's still got that like tough nose edge to him, but he's also more modern in the way he goes about things. Like, you look at the way like Vancouver played last year when they were healthy. Those guys were flying up and down the ice. Like, they were all about speed and, actually scoring the puck, like, as compared to, oh, let's bog down and hope we get these transition opportunities. No, like, his teams like actually took it to other teams. So I like the way that about it. Like, as my buddy put it to me earlier, you don't just stumble into winning coach of the year in the NHL. You have to actually earn it. Like, there's no, oh, my team was supposed to win 4 games and we won 9 and it got coach of the year. Like, no, you have to be like 1 or 2 seed in East or Western Conference. And he's proven that he can do it. So, hey, if he fits in with what Keith Jones and Danny Briere are looking to do, I love it. It's a little close to home for me, but at the same time, it's not the exact like old boys club.
Yeah, you don't want the Ed Snyder hire. Let's bring in another Broad Street bully. Where's Paul Holmgren? Exactly. Let's bring in this guy. But like you had said, he has earned this hire because he had been around. He has been a coach. He's 61 years old now, and he identifies as a Flyer because this is where he was drafted. This is where he came up. He spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 his first 8 seasons as a Flyer. Yeah, then he came 11, back. He 11, came back 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, his first 8. And then he got traded, looks like, to the Penguins in his 8th year. And then he came back and he finished his career. I didn't remember him being 3 seasons. He ended his career 3 seasons, last 3 seasons with the Flyers.
That's what I remember being a Flyer.
Did he come back to kind of try to be a go-between with Lindros and the organization? Because Lindros was still there, and that's when it started getting bad with Lindros in the organization.
Right. That's when they had their couple runs to, Eastern Conference Finals. That was
losing to the Devils. Yeah.
Lindros getting knocked out by Scott Stevens and, all those playoff series. I obviously was too young at the time to like really know like the ins and outs of like the player development of it. But like, I think he came back because we were a real contender at that point in time, and they just never were able to get over the hump. They were always bringing in the next guy, like Jeremy Roenick, Tony Amonte, and they had Keith Primo and this and that. It's just like, no matter who they added, what the name was, they just got bogged down somewhere. So I think what you said makes total sense. I just wouldn't know to the ins and outs.
That was actually what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tocchet was a really good player. Had 40 best season with the Flyers, had 45 goals, had 96 points in 1989 and 1990. When I think about because my dad was never a hockey fan, so I wasn't like the Phillies from 4 years old. I was loving the Phillies, but it wasn't until Pelle Lindbergh dying. That's really like my first memories of the Flyers. And that was those guys, Peter Zezel, Rick Tocchet, Pelle Lindbergh. They had the mullets. They were these young, good-looking dudes, and they lived in New Jersey, and they were down the shore, and they were getting ass and everything else. But like those were the young, good-looking guys, and that's what I remember from Rick Tocchet. And he was a really good player. So that was a fun era of hockey, of Flyers hockey. And then he went and won cups with the Penguins. So he was in Pittsburgh for 3 seasons. He was in Boston for 2 seasons, and he was with Phoenix. He also got in trouble for gambling, if you remember, Rick Tocchet. Do you remember this?
No.
So he pled guilty to gambling, promoting gambling. Let me read this before I actually say it. But like I don't know exactly. It was an undercover police operation spearheaded by the New Jersey State Police against an illegal nationwide gambling ring. The operation was made public. Rick Tocchet, Janet Jones, who's the wife of Wayne Gretzky, were among those under investigation and indicted. And then they had a trooper that was also involved in it. So like, and this is what I remember with it was that. So the trooper pleaded guilty to conspiracy, promoting gambling, and official misconduct, and promised to help authorities with their case against Tocchet and others. He said that he and Tocchet were 50-50 partners in a betting ring. Harney was sentenced to 6 years in prison. Tocchet pled guilty to conspiracy and promoting gambling, was placed on probation for 2 years for his role in the operation, and avoided jail time. He was a book.
Love
He was a bookie.
He's one of us.
Well, like now he doesn't need to be a bookie. Go to the Park Sat. Yep. It's just interesting how, like, if that happened today.
Oh my God,
dude, he was an assistant. He was an assistant coach on Phoenix. Wasn't Wayne Gretzky running Phoenix at the time? And Wayne Gretzky's wife was involved in this. I mean,
I'm pretty sure he was on the bench when Wayne was the head coach of the Coyotes.
Yeah,
which was just hilarious because he was just a terrible head coach.
Yeah, imagine do you imagine an assistant coach being a bookie, being a 50-50 partner with a New Jersey State Trooper and a bookie? That's crazy. Anyway, welcome to Philadelphia, Rick. Congratulations, buddy.
Welcome back.
Wow. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, you know, as a Sam Boner that knows nothing about any of this, I like guys that have personality and can talk, and Rick has personality and can talk. He always has. He's a good talker, so that's good. That's good. Tortorella had personality too, but that didn't.
He's a jerk off. I mean, I also like that he had options. Like Vancouver wanted him back.
Boston wanted him.
Yeah, he opted out of Vancouver to be like, all right, I'm taking a break. Whatever.
Anaheim wanted him.
All these teams wanted him, and he chose here. So I like that he wanted to come back and bring us back to the glory days.
Ah, man, he's going to help save the organization. Congratulations.
He could be what they thought Tortorella was gonna be. It's like he could be the hard nose, but he's not gonna be so stuck in the sand that he's not gonna change his ways or be like, bitching and complaining when we're not as good as I thought we were. It's like, no, like I feel like he knows what he's signing up for just by the way he's talking about achieving a goal and getting back to what they want to be. It's like where Torts was just, I'm going to come in here. We're going to be good. It's like, no, they didn't have that team. They didn't have that built up team that he could just walk in and bring them over the hump.
Right. Yep. All right. Terry Murray was available. Is he still alive, Terry Murray?
No idea.
Do you remember what Terry Murray is famous for? You probably don't because you were very young. He is still alive. No. He said the team choked after they got swept by Detroit in the 1997 Stanley Cup.
Yep.
He called it. He said it was a choking situation in the Canadian accent.
Canadian accent's great. I love it.
Oh, it is great.
It's out of here.
So the Phillies win is a doubleheader today because they got rained out yesterday. They win 2-1. Jesus Luzardo is unbelievable. Another great performance. He gets the win. Not so much tonight, Delco Steve. Your team, your town.
That wasn't a game. That was batting practice.
It sure was. Starring, ta-da, Aaron Nola, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you MFers that give me holy hell because I said he was the Joe Bland of this rotation. I don't even know if I want to disrespect Joe Bland at this point with Aaron Nola. All right, so screw you, and screw you. Aaron Nola in 3 2/3 innings gave up 12 hits, 9 earned runs, 3 home runs.
Is that good?
It is not. A lot of people are saying he shouldn't have come back out for the 4th inning. I agree. I wouldn't have brought him back out for the 4th inning. They were down 6 runs. But because of the doubleheader, they probably figured, he can get another 3 innings. Maybe he calms down a little bit.
But they didn't use anyone earlier. I didn't understand it. It's not like Alvarado had 14 pitches earlier and they pulled him and they used Kirkering for a couple outs and who else?
Well, it's because Alvarado also gave up a hit and a walk. No, Romano struck out the side. Romano looks good, brother.
6 innings in a row.
6, yeah, and he's striking guys out. He's getting called strikes and swings and misses with the slider. He's commanding it. Romano looks good. Forget about him. Aaron Nola. All right, he's now 1-6 on the season with an ERA 6.16. All right, and I am not taking great joy over this because I still believe that Aaron Nola will bounce back. And by the end of the season, his ERA is not going to be below 4. So
it's kind of hard to at this point.
Yeah, so like you hope that he bounces back and he's still able to give you innings. My contention all along and everything that I said was he's a good piece to a starting rotation. The problem is when you pay him that much money, you give him that contract, it is not worth it. He is their fifth best starter, and when Andrew Painter's ready to go, he isn't even their fifth best starter. He's their sixth best starter.
I mean, I'm gonna hate to say this, but after all, especially after all the money I've lost betting against him this year, is he worse than Taiwan right now?
I mean, Taiwan also came in today. Came in and he got hit around a little bit.
Oh, I had it all. I thought I was out of it by that point. So
yeah, he gave up 2 earned runs in 3 innings, which isn't terrible. But then
compared to Nola, that's ace stuff in this game.
Carlos Hernandez came in. I can't wait to designate him for assignment. Get him the hell out of here. He sucks. He gave up a couple runs. They lose 14-7. So I mean, here's the thing, because Nola. You got to take him out of the rotation? You're going to make him the long man? I find that hard to believe. He keeps pitching like this. You're really not going to have any other options. And Kevin had said this, can you trade him? How the hell are you trading Aaron Nola? There's nobody in baseball that's given Aaron Nola that contract but the Phillies. It's a bad contract. Sorry, it's okay. 7 years and $172 million for a guy that on this team, at best, is your fifth starter. At best, is your fifth starter. At best, he's your fifth starter. He's got 6 more seasons, right? When did he sign that? Yeah, he's got 6 more seasons.
Last year was the first year. That's
6 more seasons. An annual salary of almost $25 million a year. And what do you think I think this guy's stuff plays in the future when he loses more velocity. Yo, man, one of my favorite foods, meatballs. You know why? Because you can buy frozen meatballs at the grocery store and you can eat them. They're edible. Right? They're not terrible. Put them in some sauce.
Just serve them up.
Mm-hmm. Serve them up. If you get really, really good meatballs at restaurants or you like to make good meatballs at home, they're not difficult to make and you can make them. This freaking dude is serving up meatballs all the time. All the time. He was doing it again tonight. When you're pitching 89, 90, 91 and you can't command your freaking fastball and you're overusing your breaking stuff, boom. That's what happens. I'm just telling you, this is trouble. Aaron Nola is trouble.
It's funny because before the game started, I was looking at his stuff in the last couple games. I was like, last 2-3 games, pretty good. What? No earned runs in 2 out of 3.
He had 2 really good starts, Sam.
And I was like, even the last one, I know he gave up 4 runs and 2 home runs, but like the rest of it was pretty good. So I was like, maybe this is the time he starts turning around. And then a couple innings later, I was very, very, very wrong.
Yep. You know who else likes meatballs?
The Delco Dumper. They go right through her.
Do you make good meatballs?
No, my dad makes the best meatballs.
Does he make good meatballs? Nice.
Oh, dude, like I don't even want to eat like any others.
Because I've made good meatballs, but I can never settle on a recipe. Right? Like I know it's supposed to go in it, fresh parsley, salt and pepper, breadcrumbs, like an egg, but there's so many different recipes. I just don't know which is the right recipe. Like it's hit or miss with me. I'll make good meatballs one time, and then the next time I'll be like, not as good.
You need some Parmesan. You need some breadcrumbs. You need what else? You got to get the meat with more fat in it. You
need the 80%. You can't go 90. You can't go 90. You need the 80% fat. I go 80% fat for the most part because it tastes better.
Yeah, you got more fat the better. My dad mixes his with pork sometimes, or
you got to throw pork in. Absolutely. Oh, we lost Delco Steve. Yeah, Sam's Italian Market up in Willow Grove. Sam's has such good stuff, man. Their meatballs are dynamite. My mom actually gets. We're gonna have to remove her from the stage. Should we bring the Delco Dumper up? Let's do the show with her. Are we able to do with the Delco Dumper? I guess not. Like Sam's Italian Market up in Willow Grove. My mom will bring. It comes in the plastic, like the long plastic one. She'll bring it up and I'll put them in the freezer. She'll bring a couple up. I'll put it in the freezer, and you should bring it out. You're like, all right, I'm sauce tonight or whatever, and it's good. So where's Delco Steve? Oh, no, he's still frozen. All right, there we go. Yeah, beef, pork, Delco Steve. The Delco Dumper strikes again.
Yep, all over my information.
So I put the same thing. Italian parsley, got to go fresh Italian parsley, garlic, salt, pepper, egg, breadcrumbs. I like when I make a meatloaf, because I like meatloaf. The recipe I use for meatloaf, you put a little milk in it. So I've seen meatball recipes with milk in it as well.
How do you cook your meatballs? That's the real question.
Fry them.
Like on a pan?
I've put them in the oven just for convenience sometimes. But if you want to like really make them, you gotta fry them to start and then finish them in the sauce.
There you go. Just making sure.
Yeah. No, slow cooker. Like when people do the whole sauce or gravy type thing, and like I always say, I'm not qualified to talk about it because I'm actually am Italian. I found out that I am Italian now. Sorry.
Hey, welcome to the club.
Yeah, my great grandmother. I never told the story to you.
I don't think so.
My great grandmother, she when my grandmother died, my mom and her sister, my aunt, they were going back and they were searching their lineage, and they couldn't get past like 1913. They couldn't find anything past that. And finally, my Aunt Jean, she found something. She found the birth certificate, or a communion or a something from a church in Queens, from a Catholic church in Queens, and they figured out she gave this, my great grandmother went by this fake German last name, Block, Blockt or something. Her last name's Alvano. They came over like a lot of immigrants. They changed their last name because they got discriminated against.
Right.
So I found out I'm 12.5% Italian.
Nice. Awesome.
There you go.
I mean, if you ask me, I'm 100% Italian. I don't know about anything else.
But anyway, but my buddy Scooch, his last name's Pascucci, and his mom makes gravy, and it's pork. There's like pork. There's like a pork shoulder in there, and there's meatballs, and there's everything. And she told me that's why she calls that gravy, because anything that has meat in it outside of meatballs makes it gravy.
Agreed.
Otherwise, it's just sauce.
Agreed.
So I like gravy, but I don't call it gravy. But like I like a nice pot of gravy.
Yeah, but like I can't stand when people call sauce gravy and you're like, oh, that's what you're supposed to call it. I'm like, no, like I don't get it. I hate it.
Yep. I know. Gravy I put on roast beef growing up, so I don't go with gravy stuff. But
I agree with that too.
I just get mad at Italians that overuse the gravy because they're like, oh, but it's gravy. It's like, man, I'm a Metagon. Leave me the hell alone. I'm not calling it gravy.
Now, I like a lot of sauce for dipping bread. Like that's.
Oh my God. Good bread, a good loaf of bread. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Some meatballs, some sausage, some pork mixed in there.
Dude, my dad makes meatballs for like, he makes them frequently throughout the year, but like makes a ton around like Christmas and stuff. I could have like 7 meatball sandwiches from Christmas to New Year's. And that's a low number.
Nice soft roll.
Yeah. Like
nice club roll.
I appreciate Aaron Noel sucking so bad that we get to talk about good food.
Because he's serving a meatball tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron Noel. Do we know, is she Italian? Is the dumper Italian?
I hope not.
What's her I don't even know her name.
I knew it for like a second, and I definitely don't remember it anymore.
Yeah.
I like your new background, by the way.
You like it? I finally got it together.
Yeah.
Oh, it's moving around because see if I go like this. I gotta watch it. That's my AI camera. Yeah, it's not bad.
Good.
No, and AJ, the sharp provolone makes all the difference in the world.
100%.
A Tony Luke's roast pork with sharp provolone might be the best sandwich in the world. A roast pork Italiano with the broccoli rabe and the sharp provolone. Oh my God. There used to be a place in the Reading Terminal Market. It was called Rocco's Italian Hoagies. I don't know if it's still there. I know it was sold a couple of times. It kept the same name, but man, they just put like a little drizzle oil, a little drizzle of good vinegar, of balsamic vinegar, and then the sharp provolone cheese, and then one romaine lettuce leaf, like a long one, and then the meat on top of that, and then some onions because I don't like tomatoes. And I swear to God, I could eat 3 of them. because they're not all that big. I could eat 3 of them. They're so good. Oh my God, I love those hoagies. Delicious.
I'll have to try.
Oh my God, so good. Yes, and it's Kathy Romano, not Kathy Romano. Like and Kathy did not have her contract extended by WMMR and Beasley Media. I know Kathy. Kathy and I were colleagues. We both worked for the same company for a long time. I was wondering when Preston and Steve would be touched. It was only a matter of time. Even with the success and the money that they generate, the state that radio's in, I would have been surprised if Preston and Steve went untouched until they decided to retire. And came out late last week that Kathy wasn't, they weren't renewing her contract. I feel terrible for her, but she'll probably do better because she'll get some TV stuff or whatever. Like Kathy will be fine, but it just sucks. It sucks knowing a show that's important to as many people as that show is, that Kathy doesn't get to leave on her own terms. But with saying that, when radio companies aren't making money and they continue to lose money, we can't expect them not to make cuts against whoever. And unfortunately, it happened to Kathy. But iHeart actually did, for you radio nerds out there, iHeart reported their quarter one revenue in 2025. They actually made money as a company, which has not happened. None of the other radio groups are making money.
I was going to say, for the first time since when?
And you know where they're making their most money on? Because they lost money in radio. They're making money on podcasting. It's the first time that, so like a company like Odyssey, they decided, they're like, oh, well, we're going to become the leader in podcasting without knowing what they were doing and knowing how to monetize it. It's easy to say, hey, we're going to do podcasting, but how are you going to make money off of it? Just by going out and signing some big star and saying, hey, we have this person's podcast. That's great. You just gave them a lot of money. How do you make money off it? And they couldn't do it. iHeart really has figured out how to make money on podcasting. So there you go. So there is hope. There is hope for radio out there. iHeart actually made a profit, which is amazing. There you go.
Yeah, until Amazon decides to buy every freaking podcast.
Right. Exactly. Who is replacing Tyrone? It is 100% not me. I can assure you that. It is not going to be me.
Come on.
I am not working those hours. Otherwise I would have stayed at WIP, even though I'm in dire financial straits and I could really use the money. I'm not working those hours. Otherwise I wouldn't have left WIP.
Where's our show sponsor tonight?
Oh, I forgot to talk about him. ATM Construction.
I mean, if you're hurting for it, you got to put them out there.
But he didn't pay me. Not out there.
Check's not in the mail.
So Vince told me about Josh Innes was talking about me on one of the pods. So I guess Josh is doing daily pods because he has officially applied for the 90s, because 97.5 posted the afternoon job, and Josh has been very vocal in how he applied for the job or whatever. So I guess every day he's doing podcasts saying that he applied for it. It's smart. It's funny. It's a good bit by Josh. But he apparently he had brought my name up, and I mean, like I like Josh a lot. It sucks because Josh is too good of a radio guy, too good of a natural radio guy not to be working in radio right now. But he will not be the afternoon host at 97.5 The Fanatic. I think that's safe to say. I do not believe it will be Harry and Jason, and I love Harry and Jason. I believe Ricky Metallico is staying put, and they're going to add somebody to it. Yes, and Mike Miss would not be happy if Josh Innes came back.
Oh my God! I didn't even think about that. If it was Mike and Ennis back to back.
Yeah, that wouldn't.
That would be amazing. They should do that and then sign somebody to produce a TV show of the inner workings of the station, and they can make money off of that.
Have a reality show.
Yes.
Yeah. Have these guys killing each other behind the scenes. Well, I mean, listen, I had heard that they more or less, like, Tyrone and Mike didn't really see each other on a daily basis. There was bad blood between those two. So they didn't kiss and make up or anything like that. I don't think they really communicated much since he came back. Tony Bruno will not be coming back to 97.5 The Fanatic. So no, I do not expect that as well. And as far as a morning spot becoming available on 94, I would assume right now that 94 WIP is not in the cards for Johnny Marks. Just a hunch. Just a hunch. I mean, who knows in the future? But like, where's radio going to be in 5 years? And
it's a great. I mean, yeah.
I
mean, the station, like, it's like the stations are already getting like trimmed anyway. Because like we were talking about that with like 92.5 before, how they're simulcasted in Boston,
Vegas,
and Vegas, and yada 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 yada. It's like, so they don't even have their own country station anymore. It's like, so it's only a matter of time before that just happens more and more and more.
Well, that's the iHeart model for the most part. Is they're not like live and local ain't happening with iHeart. They're doing the same thing. So they're piping out like Elvis Duran or Ryan Seacrest or whatever nonsense they have because it's cost effective. You got to pay them a lot of money, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, like they just have that for every day part. iHeart has a different national person that does the show. So whatever. There you go. Anything else there, Delco Steve? What's the countdown? How long till the baby?
We're at 31 weeks yesterday, so we're a little over 2 months, give or take. Oh no, today's the 14th, so it'll be 2 months tomorrow. Is for the expected date.
Jim Rome? No Jim Rome.
God, he's brutal.
How many weeks?
So 8.
Oh my God!
8-ish?
So is the nursery ready? Is it painted? Is the furniture set up?
Furniture's built. I gotta take the crib apart because my dumbass didn't ask for where the bed should be on the height, and of course I put it on the lowest setting, thinking like, oh well, we don't want them getting out, so put it on the lowest. Well,
not as a newborn.
Well, no one told the first time dad that as he was building it, so I gotta take. It's not much. It's a couple pieces I gotta take off to bring that back up, and then then we just gotta organize the room. So that's everything's pretty much ready to go. And
when's the baby shower?
This Sunday.
No,
this Sunday. Yep.
Is it a Delco baby shower?
It's a secret to her, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, you're right.
Because now she probably might be asleep, but if she's not, she's right above me and definitely can hear me.
All right. But she knows when it is, though.
Yeah, she knows when it is.
Now, are there any celebrity guests that may be attending?
No, absolutely not.
No?
Wrong side of Delco for sure, where we'll be.
All right, so here's a question, and I'll just put it up on the screen. And I think it's a valid question. Because I got to be honest with you. I mean, third trimester sex is pretty good. I'll just tell you.
Nope. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Because the every pregnancy is different, right? And I really shouldn't be talking about this, but every pregnancy is different. And my wife, the first 2 trimesters, was so sick. Whatever the medicine is that you have to take, the anti-nausea medicine that they give you for when you're pregnant, that you have to take.
Yeah.
Like she was taking it every day because otherwise she was like, and then you start to be like, all right, I know how to manage it a little bit more. And if I have to make sure I eat by a certain time before I don't throw up. And then like, as you get into the third trimester, you're a little bit better. So then it loosens some things up or whatever. But yeah, like that was, yeah, that was good. That was good. All right. Well, listen, man, then enjoy Sunday, man. Are you going to be documenting this on social media? Oh, Delco Steve froze again with his right eye shut. There he goes. All right. Well, Delco Steve, goodbye. We're out of here, everybody. Enjoy. Have a good one. We will talk to you next week. Tune in tomorrow morning, PHLY Philly with John Marks. I'll talk to you live at 8 a.m. tomorrow, and we'll talk to you then. See ya.